everyone, Steve Cobb here, also known as Cyber Santa. So if you watched my other video, we did a naughty and nice list and talked about some of the threats and threat actors that get cold this year. We talked about the nice list and those people or those groups and activities that really gave us hope. And now we want to kind of look forward. So looking into the snow globe, what does 2026 hold for us? I think in 2026, what we see is a fall or a change in what the traditional CISO does. The traditional CISO is going to fundamentally change. We've got things happening like personal liability. And you probably see where Tim Brown was exonerated from the SEC lawsuit, which is great news. But we still see other cases where CISOs are being personally liable for issues and personally sued for breaches. And if you're responsible for everything and you can't control the budget, you've got compliance, you've got security operations, you've got all the things that happen, and you become the person that's listed on the lawsuit when and if a breach or compromise does happen. I think that's a challenge, and you'll see people that step back from that role and maybe go back to practitioner roles or hands-on roles. And you'll see, I think, in 2026, the CISO evolve into a risk manager role more. I do see one ray of hope there where the CISOs are being brought into more business discussions, and they're talking about risk overall for the business and how to address it. AI has pushed that, I think, to a degree. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. We also see the rise of kind of field CISOs. So where CISOs are out in the community, really talking and trying to be thought leaders and bringing ideas and solutions to the organizations, not just from cybersecurity vendors like myself, but I think you'll see a lot of other organizations that have field CISOs to get out in the field, especially large organizations, and talk to their own people and be more of an advocate of security, hygiene, and maturity overall. You'll see enterprise CISOs, I think, that'll transition more into that business advisory kind of role, as I said, talking with stakeholders, becoming more of a risk manager from a cybersecurity perspective. And you'll see a lot of them that go to virtual CISOs, right? I think you'll see a lot of companies that determine they need a CISO, but they only need them from a virtual perspective, a part-time person, if you will. And you'll see a rise in virtual CISOs continue, I think, in 2026. So another prediction here is kind of data sprawl is the new perimeters. I think we'll see data sprawl being even more important. And really it's because we're putting our data in so many different places. All these connections that are happening in our on-prem environments, our cloud environments, our SaaS environments, those SaaS to SaaS connection, all those things are difficult to map. People don't know where their data is, who it's going to. The perimeter is essentially gone, right? And this integration, all these integrations open up a brand new attack surface for threat actors. It will have to evolve into a space where we as security practitioners have a better understanding of what data is going where and what the life cycle of that data is. So as we see that kind of play out, then data sprawl will be something that we really try to wrap our heads around and get a solution for in 2026. And then the last one I'll say is, I think, once again, this is probably obvious, but I want to point it out because I think there's still people who haven't gotten to this step yet. So if you're not doing anything around AI governance, it's become mandatory right now. For you in your organization, you need to have some AI policy and governance around what you're doing internally. If you're a vendor or you make products with AI involved, what are you putting in those systems? Regulations are changing. We're starting to see some international and federal, state, local regulations that are going to regulate AI. You'll have boards of organizations that will push the organization to be more useful of AI. It needs to either cut headcount or be more effective or be more efficient. And it'll be a challenge if you don't have governance mindset in place around your AI of what you can allow, what you don't allow. So right now, as we're giving AI access to everything, you're going to mandatorily have to start putting together your AI committees and your governance and policies and put those in place. If you haven't already done that, go ahead and set some time apart in January and get on it, because it's coming down the pipe and you really need to address it and get it done sooner rather than later. So with those three predictions, I'll kind of say the CISO role is evolving. Data sprawl will continue to challenge us. We need solutions around it, and AI governance will become essential for your organization. Here's what matters most, though. We're not passive observers to these changes, right? We as security practitioners and professionals have the ability to influence this and drive what solutions look like and what outcomes look like. And I think that's where a lot of hope for me in 2026, Liz, because as CISOs become more involved in business conversations, and we're not just put in the corner about cybersecurity professionals and what is our risk from threat actors, we're involved in more discussions that really think in resiliency, right? And I think that's a key piece for us to have conversations for going forward in 2026 is resiliency, not just all three legs of the CIA triad, right? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And as we have those discussions, I think what it does is make our organizations better. And it does make the CISOs who have the ability and capability to speak that language of risk to organizations, both from cybersecurity and availability perspectives as well, makes them very valuable to their organizations and really does help get to outcomes that we want, reducing the risk, making it better for our customers, protecting data, all those things I think get better. So 2026, it'll be challenging, but I think we can prove how adaptable we are as a security community to make things better and to really drive the narrative and the outlook for our organizations. So 2026 is a year where we have less on the naughty list and more on the nice list. That's my hope, and we'll see how that plays out. Thank you again for joining me today. Have a great holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and really stay vigilant out there. Thank you.